for joining us here for this post-match presentation. Post-match press conference. We're joined by South Africa captain Temba Bavuma, who will be taking questions from the room here at the SCG. So can I please see a show of hands for questions for Temba, please?
Temba, is that a wake-up call or a concern heading into the finals?
I wouldn't say it's a concern. Probably is a bit of a wake-up call for us. Looking at the game, how it went about, I thought the first 10 overs we were superb. We were able to get them under pressure, and then after that, the wheels probably fell off. Conditions changed a little bit with the ball starting to skid on, but I think in terms of our awareness, in terms of adapting to that, we were very slow in that. We allowed them to get momentum into their innings, and they were able to get a formidable score on the board. Then I think with the ball, with them coming into the field, they had momentum. They probably had the advantage on their side, and they just ran with that. And I think a team like Pakistan, as you know, is very dangerous when you give them a sniff or any type of momentum. So, like I said, I don't think it's a big concern. Yes, there are talking points for us, areas that we can learn from, and maybe it's a performance that we needed to kind of maybe bring us down back to earth.
Temba, it probably wasn't the best day in the field for you guys, catching and ground fielding. Was that something the conditions played a part in, particularly as that Pakistan innings went on, or is that not sort of an excuse you kind of want to use?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and look for excuses for our fielding display. I think up until this game, our fielding has been very good, and we fielded at night, we fielded during the day, we fielded in wet conditions. So I think today, individually, guys will know where they are mentally. Mistakes that we made were not the type of mistakes that you want to be making at this level, especially at this part of the tournament. Maybe the intensity lowered a bit from the guys, but like I said, individually guys will know, but that's definitely not the standard of fielding that we pride ourselves on.
Are you just able to update on David Miller, sort of how serious were those back spasms, and is it a concern, or is it just something he'll be able to sort of work off over the next day or so?
I do believe it was precautionary. I'm not the representative for the medical team. Obviously, we have the game against Netherlands. Hopefully David can, he can be fit and ready for that game. But as far as I know, he wasn't physically fit for this game, and it was a precautionary measure not to field him in this game.
Any other questions from the room? Okay, then we will... You got one more? Yeah, go ahead.
Just on when you were chasing, just before the rain came, you were actually ahead of the DL by a little bit, and then Shadab got the 2 wickets in and over. Obviously, that can happen, but is that just a reminder as well to keep game awareness in terms of how those sorts of chases play out? I mean, there might be another rain game you get in this tournament when more things on the line. Is that just another good reminder for you to just be aware how the game's playing out?
Definitely, I think that's a good point. To be honest, when Aiden and myself were betting, we weren't thinking too much of the rain. We weren't thinking of the DL score. We obviously weren't thinking of getting out as well in quick succession like that. But I think, the rain, the weather has played a part in the World Cup. It's been raining all over the country, and I think that's probably something teams are going to have to keep aware of. It's obviously a bit tricky. It can be challenging, but they always say you want to control what you can. You can't control what's happening up there, but you can definitely control what's happening out in the field. But yeah, I think that's a good point for people to consider.
Okay, we will now cut to questions given to us on Zoom. So I can see hand from Zahia, please. Can you unmute yourself?
Hi, Temba. I'm not sure if you know about the statistic that no team has won the T20 World Cup without losing a game. So is it a way of just getting this out of the way and then just refocusing for what the next possible 3 games ahead?
Yeah, I think as a team, obviously, if you are going to lose, it's probably now. I think looking at our next game, that's a must-win for us. Looking at the the table where we stand, and then obviously the playoff games, those are also must-win games. So I guess we had a bit of a lifeline, probably because of the way we've played up until this point. But I think from now on, it's about us playing our best cricket. And look, if we come unstuck, we come unstuck. Today we didn't play our best cricket, but that's what we'll be looking in hopefully the next 3 games.
And Temba, just how did you feel when the first one came out the middle sweetly? Just how did you personally feel when that happened, and for the remainder of your innings today?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've hit the ball anywhere near the middle. I felt a lot better today. Thought I was seeing the ball quite well, making better decisions out there, a lot more calmer. I guess I just try to enjoy it. To be honest, try watch the ball. Whatever happens after that happens. But yeah, much better today, and hopefully that could continue much longer into this tournament.
Okay, and I think we've got a final question here from Ken, please. Ken, if you can unmute yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, it wasn't allowing me to for a while. Thanks so much. How's it, Temba? Well batted. I just wanted to know, you mentioned in terms of the bowling, you said the word adapting. Do you feel like the problem was the first half of the innings that gone really well, the lengths the guys had been bowling in that, and that the second half of the innings, they maybe tried to stick with what had worked in the first half for a bit too long?
Thanks, Ken. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think when you have a team 50 for 5, probably the last thing you're thinking is that they're going to get to 180, 190. And maybe that's probably where the problem lies. The problem lied with us as a team. I think the hard lengths, as bowlers, that's been something we've spoken a lot, and it's been very successful for us as a unit. The guys using their pace, the guys using their height. But I think on that wicket, especially when it started sliding onto the wicket with the short boundary as well in play, their batters, once they were in, started being able to exploit that, and they really put us under pressure. And I think we allowed probably 3 or 4 overs to kind of go by, where they got a bit of momentum. And by the time we tried to change, a lot of damage had been done. But I think the bowling plans, those are things that we've spoken about as a team. We're always going to go hard lengths. We're going to use our pace. We're going to use our bounce. And unfortunately for us today, it probably wasn't the right plan, considering the conditions out there.
Great, thanks very much. I don't think we have any further questions. Thank you for your time, Temba.
Thanks, guys.